Kausar bhai, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Shafiq bhai. Thank you for making time again so quickly. So I thought because of all the things that were happening last week, and also I assumed that something would happen on Friday, so that's why I scheduled the show. So actually, yes, can you hear me? Shafiq bhai, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Great. So Shafiq bhai, again, I'll repeat what I said, that I want to thank you again for coming in, consecutively 2 weeks, a week apart. But a couple of days ago, I was just wondering at so many incidents that happened regarding law and order, and
Yes,
also
I think.
right, and also I was aware of the fact that that thing was going to happen with HT on Friday. That's why I had requested you, if you could come in today, and you were more than gracious, to accept our request for a second time. So thank you so much, Shafiq bhai. So why don't we just start with you saying whatever was at the top of your priority last week? So we can, and then we can go into other discussions one by one.
The last week. Can I start now?
Yes, Shafiq bhai, please.
Yes. Last week, obviously, the top priority was the law and order situation, and also price situation during the holy month of Ramadan. I think we have made massive success. I would say achieved some success in reining in prices during this holy month. You would, if you look at the social media, I would say except in cases of soybean oil, soybean and rice, the price of every commodity, every food item has declined compared to the prices in Ramadan last year. So, and also the price of rice and soybean, also edible oil, also we can see that is also declining. So I think you'd hear very little complaint about it. So that was like Professor Yunus was focusing on this issue since October. I remember we attended series of meeting. He even sent us our PR team to meet all the big conglomerates. Some of these guys now control, like 3 companies now control some 80-90% of the edible oil market. So the market actually can be dictated by these people. So I think this is we try to improve the supply situation, and we have made some good success. I hope until the Eid, the price situation will be stable, and people can say that okay, they can at least say that we have made some like a really good impact in the market. But law and order situation, you're right. Like there have been some complaints about law and order situation. Also, there are some complaints about some people attacking women, which is also raises some issues. And we are, to be honest, we are dealing these issues firmly. But I have to give some context. One of the reasons, like police is back on the streets. We changed there are in Dhaka city there are 35,000 police officers, like a constable and officers, and we changed 30,000 of them, brought in some 30,000 from other parts of the country, and still the situation hasn't improved the way we wanted it to be. It hasn't. The main reason is the low confidence of police. And another main reason that a lot of Bangladeshi people and also our relatives and friends in the diaspora community, they don't understand it, is that this is no longer a brutal autocracy. We are the fruit of a revolution. And all the revolutionaries hope that police cannot open fire, police cannot even open even fire rubber bullet or tear gas to contain crowd. They think that police is out there to control the situation, but they cannot use any even non-lethal weapon. The expectation is such that the moment police use batons on protester, there is a massive outcry. Okay, the Yunus government is behaving like uh, the previous dictator. So that actually this expectation is also from every corner, every quarters, from the students, from the opposition party, and also like some criminals are taking advantage of it. They know that like a police won't put them in a crossfire. It's impossible. They are not going to do it. And also they know that even the courts are flexing their muscle. Courts are acting independently, and they know that if they even ended up in a court, in jail, there will be like in a few months they may get bail. And I think that expectation may have something to do with the worsening law. I won't say worsening, like some decline in the law and order situation. But every day we are holding meetings. Every day we are trying to find new ways. Today, there is one particular move that the Dhaka Metropolitan Police has taken. That is, there are some gated community in Dhaka. So any gated community who hired their own security staff, we are like DMP is saying that these people DMP will also recognize these security officials as like auxiliary police force. So these people can now arrest any muggers, anyone who does extortion or any involved in dacoity or theft. Like these gated community security officials, will be now, because previously they would stand idle. They couldn't do anything because they are not supposed to arrest anyone. Now we have given some muscle power to these people, and we hope like there will be some improvement in the situation because they will be more vigorous in ensuring security in their gated community. That's one thing. There are like several thousand security officials. I would say tens of thousands security officials in Dhaka and Devon, especially if you go to Bosundhara. Like Bosundhara is managed by its own private security officials. So there are several, like there are some security officials in Mohammadpur and in some gated community. The MP would give them the status of auxiliary police force. These people can arrest people and then hand it over to police, the real police. And that's, I think, is going to change because it's going to add some teeth to the power of these private security guards. It's widely practiced in other cities. If this is like there will be some people are already criticizing it that this can be misused. But let's see how it works. In a month or two, we would know how it is helping our cause. That is one thing. And another thing is police is like they are trying to improve their intelligence gathering. They are trying to like deploy more police officers, trying to bring in more police from outside in Dhaka and trying to improve the situation. I would say the compared to between September and December, things were not as bad as many newspapers have reported. We have seen statistics. Statistics show that between September and December, in 4 months, the number of murders were the lowest in 5 years. That's one thing. But the murders and also all types of crime has increased in January, and the trend was a similar trend we can see in February. But we are like identifying some pockets of the area, some areas in the cities which are more vulnerable to declining law and order situation. And police is like tomorrow we are going to hold meeting. Today there was a meeting between the police chief. 2 police chiefs came, and Professor Yunus is monitoring the situation almost every day. I think we have improved if you see the numbers, economic figures, it's clearly show that economy has rebounded. If you see the inflation figures, the food items clearly show that the prices are declining. And if you see other reforms, some of the reforms have like taken even deep roots. And we are like getting some fruits of these reforms, like very low-hanging fruits that we have tried to capture very early, and that is working good. But in law and order, it's still like stubbornly there. Law and order situation is stubbornly. I think there is a stubbornness in this situation. But we are confident. Professor Yunus is confident. Situation will improve in the next few months. I'm quite sure. We are taking quite a lot of measures, and hopefully, situation by March, April, you would see like real numbers. And also one thing we are doing is we are publishing all the figures. No matter how bad the situation is, let's be transparent about it. If the number of murders have increased, let us say that, okay, this number has increased. If the number has declined, let us show them like number of murders have increased in January and also in February. But one thing we can see that number of rape cases in February has declined compared to the number of rape cases in 2024. So that's we can see. But again, some of the newspapers are highlighting some cases as if the numbers have increased. But we are quite transparent. It's a policy of Professor Yunus to publish whatever numbers are there, publish it, be transparent, so that we can compare, we can see how much improvement we are actually making or whether we are lagging behind. And that's, I think it's working quite, I think it's quite good the way things are happening. And if you, during Sheikh Hasina's time, they would rarely publish these figures. We said, no, you have to publish every day, no matter how bad the situations, public is. We have to be transparent because these figures also pile up pressure on the law enforcing agencies. They would know that they are not performing well.
So, Shafiq, where can we, where can people go and check this? I'm sure there's some sort of website or some,
yes, the police have its own website. You can check it in police website, and they are also releasing monthly figure. And every newspapers are doing it. Like a Daily Star has done some reports on it.
Mm-hmm. So maybe our alliance, we are also developing Facebook. We have the YouTube now. So maybe we can also.
I'll send you the. I will send you the February figure in a moment.
Okay, that would be great. So we can share that. This is the kind of information people actually reach out to us, and people get misinformed. So if you can actually show that to them, especially our expat friends and family, then they will start believing that yes, things are actually getting better. Because there's always this rumor within the Bengali diaspora, it keeps on spreading that very negative way, and we have enough bad actors to spread the negativism all around. So something open and data like that would be really great, for us to share with everybody. So that'd be wonderful.
We are also sharing the data with the embassies here. Like last week, I had a meeting with the U.S. ambassador, U.S. diplomat in Dhaka, and we showed them the figure. They said like a number of murders, number of other crimes are like way below international rates in Bangladesh. But again, the expectation among the people is that there shouldn't be even a single crimes in the country. That's the expectation. And people are expecting more from this government. They said, okay, don't you dare compare the figures with what happened in the past. You have to, it's a new government, our expectation that you will be doing amazing work. But law and order situation and human, even criminal, if you are a criminology students, you would know that every society has its own murder rates. Like you know that the expectation of this number of people would be like these things are there. Like it's every society's goal is to be crime free, but not that we can achieve it anywhere in the
No,
world.
it's not achievable. I mean, the greatest countries in the world could not even achieve it. That amount of murder, I mean, those statistics will remain unless something very drastic, change in society happens. So I understand what you're saying there. So Shafiq bhai, I want to now concentrate more on one very particular issue that has troubled me, especially in the last couple of months. Is that idea of the social policing, or in Bangladesh people call that moral policing, something like that, right? So I'm seeing more instances of that nowadays, far more than before. So what are your thoughts about that? I mean, even the other day I was walking in the evening after iftar. I was walking, on the main streets, and I saw this one coconut, coconut seller being, scolded, literally being scolded by these bullies, and the bullies are telling him that, I don't like the attitude, your body language, and I'm just standing there and laughing my head off. I mean, what is this guy saying? I mean, this kind of thing is so becoming so rampant in society, right? So I'm just saying this is more as like a, is more like a joke than a very specific, thing. But this is like a virus that I'm seeing creeping in, that everybody thinks, they want to be this moral police in Bangladesh, right? So I
I
just
think
wanted to
like
share. Yeah.
moral policing have always been there in the Bangladeshi society.
Right.
It's not that it has happened just overnight. It started only after Professor Yunus has taken over. It's nothing like this. It has been there, always there. But thing is, like since the expectation is high, and also there is this uh, uh, campaign by about Awami League supporters that okay, the Bangladesh has witnessed a Islamist takeover. So they are
Mhm.
highlighting every cases as if like because it fits into their narrative. Every moral policing,
I
if you
see.
look at the newspaper over the last 20, 30, 40 years, this has been there. Maybe in the last few weeks or last few months we have seen a increasing number of it, but like the attacks on the shrines were the new, like there are a lot of people who were slaughtered even in the shrines
Mhm.
because they were considered by hardliner, considered them as heretics. It happened in the past. Not that this is
Mhm.
happening, but now that quite a few shrines have been attacked and people have taken law into their hands, there are some cases of vandalism. Like a lot of people are trying to like feed this incident into a greater narrative, greater war on terror narrative that the hardliners are on the ascendance here, and the moderates are being targeted, and these attacks on the shrines are a big symbol of it. Same thing like the attack, the Urna incidents or other issues, or the stopping of football matches, 3 football matches by local people and madrasa students. Like people, like some newspaper are trying to highlight it, especially in the social, and the highlight is that this is something which has happened like only in the recent weeks or recent months. But honestly,
Mhm.
this has been the case in many, like the fatwa incidents were always there in our society.
True.
Some fatwa, I'm a journalist in AFP for 20 years. I covered some of these high profile incidents. But again, people expect that Professor Yunus would and his government is going to like take hard action against them. We have taken like this boy, this Dhaka University bookbinder, he has been suspended. The 3 matches who were stopped, which we have managed to open, re restart the one match, and 2 more will be like I'm sure the 2 more will take place very soon. And also in the meantime, like between the last week of December and the third week of November, February, there was a youth festival we organized. 2.74 million girls took part in the cultural activities and sports activities, and tens of thousands of them watched these matches. If you look at the newspaper, there is no newspaper covered it. It's not newsworthy. In Bangladesh, in a Muslim majority country, 2.7 million girls took part in outdoor sports and cultural activities. It's a huge number. But again, like people are only like some of these journalists, some of these newspaper are only showcasing those events which like can earn some extra clicks, number of clicks. But I said that Bangladeshi, like this government, don't pander to this uh, moral policing. We have taken some tough measures, and we will continue. Like today, Professor Yunus has expressed his concern and issued some very strong, made some very strong words against these tendencies, and we are taking actions. Again, we also think that Bangladeshi political parties should also take some proactive roles, because one of the reasons these incidents may have got some fuels is the fact that police still has a low confidence in the rural areas. We have sent police to like protect some of the shrines, but what we have found is that there are like 5,000 people, and in against them there are only 20 police officers who are outnumbered, overwhelmed, and they couldn't. And they are also expectation that they cannot open fire or they cannot taken harsh measures, strong measures against this rampaging crowd, rampaging mob. That's the reality here. But again, our this government is quite serious. Every day, personally, like they send me every every details of any attacks where it is. We are tabulating, we are publishing the numbers, we are sharing with all our friends to the diaspora community, to the Western embassies, to local newspaper, that this is the fact, this is what has happened. But I'm sure like things would be controlled very soon. And no place for moral policing in Bangladesh. No place. It's anyone's choice. Whatever attire you want to wear it. No one has any right to say what I should wear and what I shouldn't. And that's the policy of this government. Like this government is run by activists. Most of them are activists. Like there are 5 or 6 people who have like a long career in activism, and they know. And some of them are very like feminist activists are also in this cabinet. They have made some strong words. One area where we are failing, I think, is not all the cabinet members are talking to the media. I think we need more talking heads. More people should talk about what we are doing, and that's the area I think. We need to say that this is the things that we have happened. Like Hizbut Tahrir thing. We issued a statement saying that 36 of them have arrested. We have collected all the video footages, and I'm sure like a lot of those who have this is a outlawed organization, and anyone who dared to take part in its activities risks being arrested. There is no there is zero tolerance for this.
Shafiq bhai, this is something that I personally believe. I mean, since yesterday, I was since it was a weekend for me. I was spent literally half the day. A lot of everybody sends messages to me now, arguing or pointing out certain things that that the interim government didn't do accurately. What I told them that I think DMP issued a warning saying that this kind of thing is not going to be tolerated, right? Or they're going to take action. But shouldn't have this come from a senior, one of the senior advisors, specifically the home advisor or somebody else? And they shouldn't have taken this more seriously in the beginning and said this is not going to be even allowed in one little bit? Because this
No,
is
no, we,
something
we already sent no, we already sent messages to the TV stations. We have
Right.
sent alerts like we but just a day before this incident was to take place, and there were TV scrolls saying that anyone who takes part in it risks being arrested. We will take stern actions against them. But
Right.
again, like these people, quite a lot of several thousands congregated, and we will take measure on. We will like go after the leaders. We will arrest uh, people who have taken part in this rally. It's Hizbut Tahrir is a outlawed organizations, and they have uh, uh, distributed leaflets with which is very incendiary with incendiary languages, and we will take actions against them. No
So
place for extremism in Bangladesh. No place.
that's great to know. That's wonderful to know. So why do you think, another question many people asked me was then why was the procession even allowed to take place? Why didn't they disperse the crowd? I mean, I
We
think,
already announced that this paper session is banned. Again,
okay,
they defied it. They wanted to actually show their presence.
I see.
We like on Thursday we sent a news scroll to all the TV station that this procession is banned.
No, I mean, why were they allowed to congregate in the first place in that area? That
Like
was
we
the,
were there are more than 1,000 police officers there. Were there.
okay.
We they were all over place. But what happened? What we learned from police, like I was talking to police chief, he said like they are not only in the mosques, they are also in other side, in other buildings, in on the roads. Like we sealed up this part of the area, but they also came from other sides, and then all of a sudden they formed a procession. But we dispersed them, and obviously we are analyzing video footages.
Mhm. So, in hindsight, I think everything went well in the sense that now you were, I think, I read that press release that you already captured 36 of their leaders. Is that
36
correct?
of their members. One of them
Members,
is
okay.
a high profile member.
Okay. So that's a good thing. I think now you have the video footage. You can go after the rest of, a lot more
True,
people that, right? So that's
true,
very good. Okay.
true.
So then let me go back to my actual first question here. Is that that incident in Lalmatia? Um, what did you think? I mean, it became later on. I got very annoyed at how certain the event unfolded and how they made it into more of a smoking event, right? And I am a very sports active person. So to me, I consider smoking should be banned. I mean, that's it, or very highly taxed so that very few people can smoke. That's my point of view. But whatever happened, that evening, I thought that was more moral policing, and it was unfortunate, that the whole thing turned into more of a smoking incident. That do I have the right to smoke or not? And then the protest was all about smoking. They were taking out cigarettes, especially before Iftar time. So what were your thoughts about that? I mean, why? But see, I feel that there's a little bit of disconnect, and maybe if people could from the government could be more be able to explain the situation better, then it could have, it wouldn't have gone into a social media frenzy. Because for 2 days, I think it became a frenzy that, why aren't women allowed smoking? Where it should have been more about that, why would a woman's rights be, trampled like that, right? So the messaging was all wrong from everywhere. So what are your thoughts about that?
I think like our advisor Rizwana Hassan has spoken about it. But from
Yeah.
our side, I think the main issue is security of women. Like
Right.
you cannot take law into your hands. If you have see that they are smoking in public, you can always go to police and complain. But why there will be a mob? And this is it shouldn't be tolerated. Anyone you cannot lecture woman whether she should be smoking or not. It's
Right.
her rights. And if you think
Mhm.
that laws are violated, you can go to police, lodge a complaint, and that's it. No way you
And
can harm a woman. No way. It's non-negotiable. I
exactly.
think I think we should our messaging was initially was I would say not appropriate, but later Rizwana Hassan has spoken about it.
Mhm.
This is
Well, I think her one got, flooded because of the first, the messaging about, smoking should be banned for everybody. So I'm like thinking, wait a minute, this is actually women's rights. So where is the smoking issue coming here? So, that's where I think everything went wrong. And then, the protest became all about smoking. So everybody lost the real narrative here, right? So, anyways, I think
if you ask me the question, I think that's the main thing. It's the security of women. Their rights
exactly.
is more important here.
Right. So, shouldn't there be more messaging on what are women's rights? Maybe there should be a campaign or
That's
something
why
like.
we that's why on that on Thursday Rizwana Hassan, we brought her to our regular briefing. She spoken about it like
I see. Okay, I might have missed that one. So she spoke about, but do you think there should be a campaign, because this is getting quite, I mean, it's happening quite often. It's happening quite often. The little incidents, but then if this is drummed up inside people that this is off limits for you, right?
I today Professor Yunus has given a very passionate speech. If you look he talked loud and clear about the rights of women in Bangladesh and what we are doing, and he also raised concern over some of the recent incidents. I think our stand is quite clear where we stand. But again, there are also massive amount of disinformation. There are
Mhm.
these campaign uh, to uh, brand us as we are pro-conservative, pro-Islamist. These sort of
Exactly.
campaigns are there. But I can tell you, our stand is quite clear. We know what we are doing, and
Mhm.
women's rights, women's uh, equal rights are very, very, very important to us.
Right. Because from a certain section of the disinformation, wing of certain, entities, that's all they keep talking about is how the IG is an Islamist, they're all Islamists in there going to take Bangladesh back to the, Stone Ages. I mean, that's the messaging they keep on giving out, right? And this
Yes,
was
yes,
a very,
because they are only selling point. Whatever, if you look at the Bangladesh Awami League narrative, that is only one thing. It's all about Islamist takeover. It's all about Yunus being the chief Taliban. It's all about the students are Hizbut Tahrir. This nothing. They always fit everything into their narrative of war on terror. Like last 16 years, they have successfully sold this campaign, sold this thing, and they are doing it again and trying to draw international sympathy. And these are imbecile, I would say. These people are.
definitely.
Bangladesh society, it's a evolving society. Like some of the achievement that Bangladeshi women have made. You won't see it any parts of in South Asia. I went to Islamic University Kushtia last month, where I found it's women and women. Well, then I asked them how many girls study here. They said 38% of the 16,000 students are women. In doctors, there are more women doctors, girls studying uh, medical science than male students are. And same thing, in some of the in higher students, there was a survey it's almost there, almost same number. And in manufacturing sector, the number of women, if the women said, okay, we are not going to work, Bangladesh economy would collapse in a single day, because they run the factories in Bangladesh. Everywhere you go, like 60-70%. It's not about in garments, it's everywhere, in pharmaceuticals, in even construction sector. If you go in Dhaka, if you visit and if you look at the women who sell do roadside hawking of cigarettes, it's all women.
It's all women, right?
Yes.
And I also was reading a couple of statistics a few months ago about South Asian women doing much better in the United States workforce. That the new ones who are going in, especially the Gen Zs, that they are the hardest working and their incomes are the fastest rising within that group. So within that set falls the Bengali, us Bengali expats who are there, and also the students who are joining, getting green cards or H-1B. So there's a very significant chunk that who are really shining. The women are really shining over there. And so I read some fantastic stats about that, and that even not too many people even talk about that as well. So let
There are
me.
long-term trend. It's a long-term trend. It's happening, and even in some rural areas, the interesting statistics is there are more women are divorcing their husband than their husbands are divorcing wives. These are like a statistics, because women are earning more. Women have earned a more. They are more empowered, because if you work in a factory and you expect some no-nonsense attitude from your husband.
Exactly.
And it's like if you go in some garment factories, it's like when we talk about this isolated incident that happened over the past few years, they would highlight only these isolated incidents, but there is a massive trend. Like in my village, I came from Magura. My neighboring village, there is a successful women football team. 3 of them even played in the national team. Young
Wow.
girls taking up, and nobody is bothering. Nobody is bothered.
In football.
In football.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. My own daughter used to play. She was in school in Sunbeams, and so she was a basketball player. So she went all the way to Nepal and all that. She played under the in Nepal, I think, under the Olympics and all that. So I feel I'm a feminist at heart, and I let her do whatever she wanted. And she used to play very good basketball. So I was really proud of what she did back then. So I have a special place for that women should do better always. So let me go on to the next question. These are very specific questions, but I thought we should be addressing at least some of them so people get to know what's going on, because they keep on dragging these little things and highlighting them in X and other social media, and they keep repeating it and magnifying it till death. So there was a video a few days ago, I think a week ago, so it's already old news now, which actually Shajib was a joy. He kind of amplified that. That was about this one Islamic outfit that they were saying that they would control these 19 unions as per the Sharia law. They would close down all the restaurants and tea shops if they didn't listen, during Ramadan hour. So, any specific were you able to take action against that group?
I think like there are some incidents of moral policing. I think I'm quite sure these things are these are very isolated 1 or 2 incidents, but there is no imposition of Sharia law anywhere in the country. That's a massive lie, massive disinformation campaign by this father of misinformation, Shoji Wajed Joy. He lives in a in a different world, and every time,
Right.
I don't know, when I was in AP for many years, we had a fact check units, and we did, even during Hasina's time, we did some fact checkings of Shojib Wajed Facebook status. Every now and then he made some wild claims, and it's there is this had it come from someone else, from good newspaper, or so we would have taken it seriously. But this guy has been um, like running this misinformation campaign. I don't know, like where was he? Does he know Bangladesh? Does he have any idea what kind of country it is? It says he lives in a bubble. But there
Very.
is no Sharia policing in Bangladesh. No way. No. Yeah.
So you would think that he took this, maybe somebody did a little something, or maybe it was even a false flag, and then he takes the video, he puts it up, and then he publicize it. That's it.
Sorry.
No, I'm saying that do you think incidents like this are more false flags, or this is just somebody doing something and him just taking it and amplifying it? What do you
Like
think?
this incident, I said, like the incident of fatwas have
Yes.
always been here in Bangladesh from ages,
Okay.
for
So it's
ages.
nothing new. Okay.
It's not that it happened overnight. Like one or
Right.
two or three, or maybe there are fewer, more incidents. But since everyone's expectation is that Yunus is going to, there shouldn't be any place for this incident in Bangladesh society, especially during Professor Yunus's time as the head of the interim government. Like that's why like these news are being overplayed, being highly exaggerated. But again, we are if any complaints, if you receive any complaint, like there was an incident in one place, uh, p- p- some jatra palas were banned, some baul music were banned, and we've taken note of these incidents. We went there, sent police there, and there is nothing. We talked to the people. Like these attempts, if you take I in 2014-15, I did quite a lot of stories of the hair of the bowls were cut by some villagers as part of moral policing. Their akras were destroyed by some. You know, so it's happened even during those years. But again, right now, like every incidents, then the Awami League Bahini, bot army would take it and try to overplay it on social media. Bangladesh, I am quite sure, is a liberal place, is a moderate country. Obviously, people, this is a Muslim majority country, but there is no place for bigotry and extremism here.
So that I think we touched on this. The next question that I have, but the bookmaker, the bookbinder of the DU Dhaka University
He
Library.
has been suspended today.
What happened? Was he later arrested? Because that was the way he was garlanded, and everybody was talking about that, and that was like for a couple of days. That was big news. So was he arrested after that? Because I knew
He was
arrested.
arrested and he got bail. And Dhaka University authorities have taken action against him. He has been suspended from his job.
Okay. Because I believe that they even found the girl's phone number. They called her. They got even her national ID number, and they made a very big deal out of it. And so are you going to take further actions, or just leave it at his suspension?
Sorry, I lost you.
No problem. I'm saying that because what I heard through some sources, that they even found the girl's national ID number. They got her phone number, and then they forced her, they scared her to take back the case, right? That there was against that guy. So are you taking any other actions, police action other than the suspension against him?
We will make sure that she gets proper security. Any there is and we have taken actions against this boy, against this man.
Through the suspension.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So this is the kind of thing I think it's so necessary for the expats, the diaspora to actually hear, because they hear this part, that they've seen the garland and they think, oh my God, everything's going breaking down. But actually, the incidents the actions that you guys have taken after that. Nobody actually gets to hear that. So this is good news, the actions you have taken, and then you've said that you will be, giving her security. That will be much needed for her. So there's another question that I had, which I really felt very bad, was HT Imam's son. HT Imam was a senior Awami League leader. So his house was, attacked. And one of the guys was saying, we are Dam Janata, we can do this, and that was, I think, also another one of these, for me, this moral policing going, very bad. So what kind of actions
I
are
think
you
like
taking?
some people try to take advantage of this mob violence, and we
Okay.
have taken strong actions. We have arrested the guys who organized it. We have arrested several people, and there is no place for this thing. We have
So,
like taken stern action the next day.
so this one, I think you will say is not really moral policing, but more of just.
It's they took advantage of mob violence, like they thought like
I see. I see.
they were trying to bring in young student activist and obviously HT Imam was a big associates of Sheikh Hasina and was the
Focusing on
architect of 2014 vote rigging.
I understand. So this cannot be moral policing. This is more of being some opportunist taking a chance.
Yes. We have taken actions. We immediately, we will launch a manhunt for these guys who have done it and arrested these people.
Great. That's good to know. It's very good to know. Because people are, if you go into somebody's house like that, it doesn't matter who he is. Then a person, especially living abroad, they're scared. Oh my God, should I go back to Dhaka? Maybe I can be the next target. Things like that.
No. We protection of like private property is a top priority of this government.
Right.
It's a government. This is the job of a government. It's a must. We
Right.
are like there is no place for this kind of like vandalism or any attack. There is no like anyone who would dare to do this, you will be arrested.
Thank you for telling us that. So I think is your decision today of the security guards being given that power, is this linked to what happened that day, or this was just something that you guys were working for a while and then you declared it today, or was that something like that?
Now we are taking advantage of the situation here because a lot of multi-storied apartment building or the gated community have their own private security guards. So why don't we include them in as a auxiliary police force? And if we can give them certificates and so they will have some real teeth. Like right now, when criminals target a neighborhood, they would know that these security guards can do anything to them. But now a criminal would know that obviously he can be arrested by the security guards. We
So,
hope
but
this is going to help.
could you elaborate on the process? I mean, what's going on here? That say I have how is it going to actually work? I mean, are you like G4? I think G4S. Then there is SecureX, and there's some. They are going to be empowered, or how?
We have already identified 500 places in city where these security guards, especially the bosses, someone if you have 10 people, like in the Japan, Mohammadpur, Japan, Bangladesh city,
right,
there are maybe 20 or 30. Like the boss will get the certificate of a police officer. He will have the power. He will be empowered to arrest anyone, and any criminals.
So you're going to
Obviously,
give him
we'll monitor if
right.
these benefits these issues are being misused or abused by some of these people. We obviously will monitor. But there are a lot of people, maybe tens of thousands of security guards in Bangladesh, in Dhaka alone.
Right. So then I had this one idea because in the neighborhood, I live in two separate neighborhoods in Dhaka, every now and then when I'm here. But in one of the neighborhoods, what we did during that, when the just after the fall of the Hasina regime, we were all scared, and there were all these attacks from all over. One day we found rifles and bullets in the playground close to my house. So we got really scared. So then, me and some of the Gen Z youth and other people, we got together. So we started discussing how we could protect ourselves. So then the whole idea of this, the community, group taking place. And then what happened was that we actually put together a WhatsApp group, area wise. There's one for the whole community where announcements are made. And then there are, area wise, we have blocked it into separate WhatsApp groups, right? So we have community leaders and they're always talking to each other and stuff like that. So would the IDB also be interested in developing this kind of neighborhood watch groups and then maybe have connections with the leaders of the watch groups? I mean, so many incidents have occurred, right? So maybe if not only the guards or the security officers, so maybe if you could also have some, like the OC having some kind of social program with them and saying, yes, you can come to us, you can call me any time of the night or day. If there's a problem, I'll be there or I'll send somebody. I mean, would something like that work for you guys?
I think by empowering these private security guards, we are actually empowering the communities. It's not that it's like some isolated people are getting empowered. It's like when you empower like the security guards in the Boshundara gated community, you are empowering the whole community. Obviously, they will be monitoring what their security guards are doing. There will be, I think, seamless communications between police and the security guards and the people who are employing them. It's also covered by law. There is a DMP Act for this, DMP law for this, Dhaka Metropolitan Police. It's enacted way back in 1976.
I see. So you had mentioned a little bit last time we spoke about the police not having confidence or lack of confidence, right? So has the whole the Home Ministry taken any concrete steps towards bringing confidence into the police?
I think we have these confidence building measures have been taken for months. Like, not that it's we are doing right now within the
Right.
we're trying to build their confidence. We took some specific measures, bolster their activities, and obviously it's these police was used as Hasina's henchman during the July uprising. So it will take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. In an ideal situation, if we have the alternative, like in other countries, maybe they would fire all the policemen and raise a new force. But that's it's not possible. So what we are doing, we are trying to find out the guys who are not tainted by these brutalities, and then posting them in places. And also this whole idea that police would behave like a policeman of a Western country, like they will be operating like they will be implementing like 5 stages of non-lethal policing system, like riot control measures, like you cannot you only do disperse the crowd by water cannon or batons or maximum rubber bullets or tear gas, not anything else. And that police, this police for 15 years was using live bullets like anything. And that's what their only tactics was scaring people to death. Like, okay, if you dare to come here, we'll just open fire. And that was their tactic. And now, like, first of all, they were used as like a key henchman by Hasina, and now they, in the last 6 months, people expect that they would be behaving like a policeman in a first world country.
So it's always the greater expectation because it's Dr. Yunus. it's everywhere. So what do you think about the media in general, the news media right now? Are they like you were just explaining at the beginning of our conversation today that there's a lot of the good news that they're not actually bringing out, right? So are they're doing some sort of self-censoring there? I mean, what's going on? Or you just don't think that, for them it's bad news sells well and good news doesn't sell well, so we won't publish it?
It's most of it is clickbait journalism, like sensational stuff, sensational headlines, Bangladesh on the brink. It's kind of like if there is a 3 or 4 bugging incidents, and all of a sudden some respected newspaper would say Bangladesh on the brink, a new menace, like the kind of words they use, like it doesn't look like it's like some rookie journalists are have reported these incidents, and some rookie copy editors have edited these copies. Like there is no like a disproportion. Everything is disproportionate. Like if like you can write this stuff, like if there is a like flurry of murders incidents. Like last month there are 200 murders across the country, and now this month there are 500. What we are witnessing, like from December to January, maybe the number of murders have increased by 50, not more than that, or 60. But the number of mugging incidents have increased by 40 or 50 or 60. I would share all the data with you, and you can see the figures. And it's like some people like behaving like some newspapers, like it's the way they are covering these incidents. It's like I don't know whether they, and we cannot even complain, because they would say, okay, you are intimidating us. You don't believe in freedom of journalism, freedom of press.
It's a difficult situation you're in. It's a very difficult situation.
Yes. And I wrote about some as one guy, a journalist, like he used some this kind of very sensational languages. I said, did you check the data over the last 5 years? Like murder statistics, mugging statistics. Like, did you check like this? It should be part of your training.
Very true.
And like next thing he did that, like Shofik Bhai was intimidating me. He shouldn't like he doesn't believe in.
If you show them the right thing, then you're bad. Very odd. Again, we need more educated and more professional people in the journalistic field. I mean,
And everyone talks like even some of the criminology professors, like those who monitor crime situation in Bangladesh, they are also use this sensational language. Never in the like one like in a case with a businessman, he's a very respected. He was writing like his company made 30% profit in the last quarter of 2024, and he said never in the history of Bangladesh in the last 30 years we have seen such a bad situation.
I think I know
like, it's a sensational. But if you look at the data in the stock markets, they clearly show that business have rebounded. Like the companies are making profit. It's like they are like everyone. Even we monitor this data, economic data, and that clearly shows that company profits have increased, and increased substantially. Again, like 30 years, we haven't seen such a mess before. Like this sort of like, and then,
That's
they know
sensational.
that a newspaper would this sensationalism sells well in newspaper, in websites.
Very true. Very true. So, Shuvik bhai, the Eid is coming up, so there's going to be a very big rush of shopping. So, is the IG taking special are they planning something that there could be some bad incidents, or are you beefing up your security for Eid?
I think that's we were already police have held a series of meeting about it. You will see some security measures ahead of Eid. We'll make sure that this travel back home will be safe and incident free. And we also going to make sure that garment workers, like millions of them, get their bonuses and wages in time, because if it's celebration time, we have, like, industrial police units have held series of meeting with the factory owners, with the BGME. This is like one major tension is that if they don't uh, clear the bonuses and the wages, then these garment workers, they hit the streets, and that creates a lot of situation. So that's also, and also we are trying to make sure all the markets are safe. These are like our top priorities.
Mhm. So let's move on to something else. Chief Advisor Dr. Yunus recently on his BBC interview mentioned how the law enforcement situation is improving dramatically month over month. So can you talk about any specific areas other than what we have spoken, that there have been very visible, improvements? I'm being very specific here.
Like, if you like, what he was talking about is that if you look at the uh, statistic as a whole, like statistics over the last 6 7 months,
Mhm.
like the situation hasn't declined to the extent that we witnessed last year, like the same period during Hasina's time. Like,
Right.
and also there are some improvement in some areas. And also, like, one thing that we got from police is that during Hasina's time, there were fewer complaints, because people who are uh, from the opposition, they couldn't lodge any case if they are even
Right.
beaten by Amelie guys or police or anyone else. They couldn't even lodge complaint with police. Now, like a police, like anyone can lodge complaints if you uh, are marked, if you like there is if crime incidents at your home. uh, Obviously you are free to lodge case, and we will make sure that we are going to also introduce e-filing, case filing system, so that you can easily file cases from your home.
So then,
That's the whole message from the chief advisor, that situation, the way it is portrayed, is not as bad as if you look at the statistics in in recent past.
so you're saying that the incidence of more cases being filed is actually good, because now people are free to file cases or
Yes,
report.
yes,
So it's
yes,
actually the other way around, because before, even I had an incident maybe a couple of years ago, and they were discouraging me. There was a robbery in one of my offices, and we wanted to,
yes.
and they wouldn't even take the report. They said, no, no, we can't take it. I was like, why? So I wasn't in the country, so I let it go, but a significant amount of money was stolen, but they wouldn't care. So then I realized that, okay, this is the reason why, because if it's reported, then it goes, it becomes a statistic which shows bad for the past regime, right? So
We are encouraging people, especially if there is a rape case, we encourage everyone to file a case. We need to know the real crime statistics of the country. What is
right. So
the real
is a
scenario
very
here?
important. This is a very important point, that actually filing more cases looks bad, but in reality, this is good, because actually people are getting to know what's going on, and the police
Yes,
is actually being able to investigate and actually do their job, right? This is really great to understand this thing. Thank you. So
Like a police is not in a moral position to discourage you. They are under pressure. Like if you go and say you have to take my case, there is no way they can say no.
so let me ask you then, if there's any bad apples left within the police, right? So who do you complain to? Just asking. Just it's a very vague question, I know, but I don't want to put you on the spot. But just asking.
I think like you can always lodge complaint to the police IG, Inspector General of Police and his headquarters. You can always, we encourage people, if you know that someone was involved in like a fake a crossfire, fake extrajudicial murders, fake terrorism cases, some police officers who you know that they were involved in these kind of criminal activities, we encourage you to like lodge complaint
But
to the
would the
headquarters
IG
of
take it seriously? Say somebody goes, XYZ goes there. Would he be taken seriously?
I think so. If there is if you really can produce some clean evidence, obviously
Okay.
he would. We want to
Okay.
know, like, we police is a massive. Like there are more than 200 police constable and officers in the police department. So it's not possible for us to know which particular officer has done this or that. Maybe someone was posted as an officer in charge in a very remote districts, and was maybe involved in a series of crossfire incident, stage crossfires. So obviously we need to know about these incidents and about know of these officers. They are bad apples. They need to go.
Right. So at least again, this is something, I think you might have thought I'm, repeating the same question, but at least this answer that you gave is I think, very important for a lot of people to know that yes, there is a place that you can go, and if there is a problem within some bad apples within the police, that there is a place for you to complain, right?
You have my WhatsApp number. If you know of any such cases, please refer these cases
Okay.
to me. I'll forward it to the IGP.
Okay, thank you, Shafiq bhai. So I will, stop there with law and order. So that was enough. But I thought, this was a very good conversation that we had. A lot of people are going to be aware of what's going on, especially our friends and family in the US and in other countries. So we talked a little bit about the UN Secretary General's visit that he will be coming next month. So are there any new developments on that? And what about the update on the Rohingya conference? So we would like to know if there's any update,
Rohingya conference is going to be held. We haven't fixed an exact date. Maybe it will be held in September, and UN is working on it. What we know is that Finland and Malaysia are going to be co-sponsors of this event. Bangladesh is also tirelessly working. We are expecting participation of more than 170 countries there, and all the stakeholders, especially the neighbors, like the countries in the ASEAN, China, India, and also US, big powers who dominate the Indian Ocean. Everyone will be there. And our focus obviously is to put the crisis back into the global map. There are a lot of things happening in Ukraine, in Gaza, in Sudan. So Rohingya crisis is not in the top priority list. So idea
Very
is to
true.
put it back into the headlines, and let's see where it goes. Obviously, a new issue is mobilization of supports, mobilization of humanitarian aid for the Rohingya. That has become a big issue after US has frozen aid for the Rohingya people. We hope US will restore it. US has a history of like helping refugees all over the world. I think US is going to rethink their decision. But in the meantime, our task is to mobilize as much support as we can from all across the globe, from the European countries, rich European countries, from Canada, from Middle Eastern petro rich countries, and also new powerhouses like China and Japan and Southeast Asia. Let's see where it goes. But we have high hope, and already the responses from these countries are quite encouraging.
Yeah, that's great. So there was the UN, the human rights reports on the on the previous government, that everybody I think knows about that now, and already read it or know about it. So are there anything in the works regarding the Rohingya genocide?
That is, I think, International Criminal Court is separately investigating this. That's a
Okay.
separate. Our job is mostly to ensure that the Rohingyas' food rations don't dry out.
Right. So, yeah,
Like
I
we
heard it's
have
now
to make sure
$6
there's
now,
people
right?
again
Yeah.
get enough educations and
Mhm.
enough aid. That is our like humanitarian responsibility.
Now I just wonder how I heard from $12 it came down to $6. So
Yes,
that
yes,
is
that's the
very
case.
dangerous.
That's the case.
Right.
And once if we, uh, I think things will improve. We'll try to find mobilize supports from other countries. Already,
Mhm.
European Union has said they are going to increase their supports for the Rohingya, and we are
Mhm.
expecting more from Japan, from China, from OIC countries, from
Mhm.
Turkey.
Right. That's great to know. That's great to know. So I want to move on to the last set of questions today. So there's one thing about the USAID program, which President Trump had spoken about. So there was, I believe, $29 million that he had said, right? So it actually was, I think, sanctioned during. I did a little bit of research, and I found out that this was for apparently the aid was for strengthening political landscape in Bangladesh, and the money was dispersed between 2017 and 2024. So if that started in 2017, that means that the fund was created during President Trump's first run of office. So is that accurate? And actually, who received the funds in Bangladesh? I mean, do you know that? I mean, what happened with the funds? Because that has
Foreign
become
Ministry has issued a statement. We actually don't want to talk more about it because it's a
okay.
U.S. decision, in an U.S. Authorities are making a, state made some statement about it. And what
Hmm.
we learned from learned is that it's the fund actually went to Democracy International. Again, it's a U.S. based group, and they did some work, and but nothing to do with Bangladeshi citizen.
Okay, because at first they were making it out that some weird stories that they'd spend the money on transvestites and stuff like that, and they're making it, and that's as if that's why the Hasina government fell down because of this $29 million. So so that they've moved, at least they've moved away from that, but I thought that was a valid question for me to ask. So you really don't want to discuss it because this is something, the funding came from the US, so we should leave it there, right? That's your idea.
I think
Okay,
like this is a our foreign office has already issued a statement. I can share the statement with you.
okay. So I will, whatever that is, I'll put that up in our X and Facebook page. That'd be great. So that is the end of my questions today. So if there is anybody else who would like to ask questions from our listeners, would you be willing to take one or two questions? I mean, do you have the time? Would you have the time, Shafiq Bhai?
Yes, I can go on. It's a small
That's
part of
good.
my duty.
So, Abir and you guys, do you have anybody who would like to come on and have one or two questions for Shafiq Bhai today?
We have few from X. I'm going to invite them to join the live.
Please do.
Sure.
Yeah, please do. One
Thank
by
you.
one, though. One by one. Yeah.
Thank you.
So are we in, Manu?
Waiting for the person to join shortly. I'm waiting for the person to join.
Okay. So how many people do we have today? Because there was one gentleman, I think, I forget his name, South Africa. He wanted to really join from our diaspora in South Africa. So I believe he wanted to come in.
I did not see him today.
Okay.
Casey, yeah, so sorry to interrupt. So while we wait, there are a couple interesting questions. Maybe we can continue the discussion while someone else comes up.
Yeah,
so one of the questions,
please,
yeah. So one of the questions, Shafiq Bhai, is about Ansar. You know, we saw there was a movement from Ansar, and a lot of them were removed from their position. So we wanted to know what's happening with the Ansar security force, and if the government has any plans to incorporate them in security operations throughout the country.
We are already using Ansar. There was some protest by Ansar officers, Ansar para police guys in Dhaka, and since then I think it has died down, this protest, and we are like they have Ansars played a big role during the Durga Puja festival. Like we deployed Ansar in 32,000 puja mandap across the country, and they are being used for security, for stepping up security in some places. I think Ansar issue is not a issue anymore.
Any other questions, Abir, from the? So, Shafiq Bhai, these were the questions as you and I were speaking. So people started sending these in our chat group in X. So Montgomery is here. So he's somebody who's quite active in X, and we do cross paths quite often. So hi, Montgomery.
Hi, Kausar Bhai. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. So it's finally. Is this the first time you're on here in one of our spaces, or?
Yes, this is my first time. Yes.
Okay, great. So nice saying hi to you.
Okay. My question, Shafiq Bhai, the former State Minister for Broadcasting, Mohammed Arafat, we can see that he still has the grey badge on Twitter, which is meant for government officials. So, as per their policy, if a government official is no longer a government official, that person is removed from the grey verified badge. And it has been more than 6 months till now. He still has the grey verified badge and still spreading a lot of misinformation about post-revolution Bangladesh. So my question is, has the interim government taken any action, taken any steps by communicating with X Corporation to address this issue?
About Arafat's blue badge, I would say like we already, Kausar Bhai and Paranap have alerted us some weeks back, and we took it with BTRC and Bangladeshi agencies who have direct contact with X and Facebook. Unfortunately, we have like a very good connections with Facebook. We interact every now and then, but with X there is a disruption of this connection. But we already took up the issue and alerted them. but it's still like we haven't seen any decision from them yet. Like there was, because of in the past during Hasina's period, there was this tendency by these social media platforms that they have little trust in Hasina's government. So historically, they don't trust the governments of the Southeast of these like least developed or middle income countries. That's the trust factor is there. Like if we were countries from the West, and if we took up an issue with them, they would do it instantly. But every time if we try to like bring up an issue with them, and they would say, okay, but they were not sure whether we are muzzling any legitimate voices or not. That's because previously Hasina's bought army, Hasina's government has done it. They muzzled even legitimate voices.
Because
We
the great
have taken it seriously, and I'm sure like NTMC, the BTRC, and other agencies have taken it up, and we have alerted X. We have taken up with Facebook some of these issues.
This should be a very, very straightforward thing. I mean, just if you see any government officials, X and Facebook, they always know that these people will be replaced, so they archive the old one, and then they restart it again. Like at POTUS, whatever Biden did is 4 years, so that has all been archived, and then you can look at that separately. Then when you go back to Barack Obama, you can see that. To Hillary, you can see that as well. So now Trump is using his one, but his 4 years ago, that's all already archived. So you have to go back to the archive to see that. So I think the issue is you have to be more, explain to them that, look, you should be archiving his one because now he's gone, retired, blah, 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 whatever. And I am his replacement, and you should be giving me that. So it's a bit more, I don't know how, the approach was made. But actually, the approach is, they know that, people are in political situations, they're going to change, and then it gets archived, and the new one will come in. So I don't know why, that is not
I think tomorrow we are again holding a meeting among the agencies, and I'll raise the issue again.
Great. That'd be great, because every time we see that, and everybody gets mad, right? Everybody gets mad. Why does this man still have the great tick mark? So
don't know, maybe he's spending an awful lot of money. We don't know.
You never know. So Montgomery, any other questions?
Well, X does have an office in Bengaluru, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe he's getting help from there.
Sorry?
What I'm saying is that X does maintain an office in Bangalore.
Okay. So
I don't think. Hello?
Are you trying to say that that Shafiq Bhai's team should contact the Bangalore office?
No, to the head office, of course, the main office, which is
in
in the United
Texas, right?
States.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So do you have any other questions?
No question from me. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. So Abir, can we have somebody else back in?
Yeah. So we are waiting to get the next person in, but while we wait, I have another question, and this question is through our YouTube feed, and it's from Glitchy. And so here's the question: what's your thoughts on the woman taking back her case against the harasser because she was threatened? And I know Kausar Bhai and Shafiq Bhai, you touched upon this topic, but do you have any updates on the victim of the harassment at Dhaka University who had to physically take her case back?
Now, whether she has taken withdrawn the case or not, we have already taken actions against this man. we had like a Dhaka University authorities have suspended him from his job. So we took the right decision, and there is no place for bigotry here. No place.
Okay, we are just waiting on the next person to join the link. So while we wait, there is one more question.
If you could name the people, that would be great. Then they could, get that acknowledgement.
Right. So the last question was from Glitchy. That's the screen name. Let me see. And let's get the next question in. Just give us a minute. So another observation has been about law enforcement not cooperating. I know, Shafiq Bhai, you have spoken about their lack of confidence. Are there any specific strategies being taken to increase their confidence? And this is from Saida Azmara as well.
That's like we have taken a series of confidence building measures. We told them that officers who are clean, they don't have to worry about any consequences. But somehow, we feel like it needs more time. We have make massive transfer from people from Dhaka to, we have transferred them outside of Dhaka, brought in more cleaner officer in Dhaka. But again, the whole police forces was tainted by this July uprising atrocities. Like they are the ones who are at the front of Hasina's killing machines. And that's like every time there is a video of this Abu Said being shot by police officers or other police brutalities are like, it's everyday issue, like police brutalities like this every day. I'm sure like you have seen some videos of police killing every day, like the atrocities at Jatrabari, like a lot of even international charities have also made some international group have also made some videos of police's role during the July uprising. So that's why like it will take time, but we are, and also this another eroding factor is the expectation from people that police should behave like a policeman in a first world country, that they are not going to use any force while controlling a rampaging mob. They cannot, they shouldn't open fire, they shouldn't even use tear gas or rubber bullets. But that was the standard practice during Sheikh Hasina's time. Every time some groups tried to gather in Shahbag or any other places, the first thing they would do is they would open fire, tear gas, then rubber bullets, and in many cases they would also open live bullets, fire by live bullets, and that was the case. Now we have told police that you have to use 5 stages of crowd control that is being promoted by the United Nations, and that's also the case. One of the reasons that police, because police over the last few decades, police actually wasn't used to conducting law and order situation, like ensuring law this way.
So one quick follow-up question on that. The question is about intelligence. So the question is, are the intelligence agency at full operation and at full operational capacity? And also, are they cooperating to the extent that the government requires them to?
I would say no. We still haven't I think they too also lack confidence. And also what Hasina did is that she stacked up the intelligence agencies, like with Chhatra League guys. Like Chhatra League boys were everywhere. They were the mid-ranking officers, senior officers, and many of them just vanished. They are not there. So it looks like we have to raise intelligence agencies all of a sudden. And like in some cases, like we knew that like some 70% officers were recruited from Chhatra League, because loyalty is a big issue for Hasina, and now they are gone. And
So,
like the kind of disruption it has created.
so are there any specific
Is this
plans?
vacuum still there in the intelligence? Right?
It is like we can say right now the things have improved massively, but not to the extent that we hope it would be.
I see. Abhi, sorry, you were going to say something.
No, you got the question. That's exactly what was the follow-up question on next steps. So we also have Faiz Bhai on the line. So I'm going to hand over to Faiz Bhai for your question. Please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Shafiq Bhai, Kausar Bhai, and everybody.
Assalamu alaikum.
Shafiq Bhai, I have a specific question, actually two. But first off, I would like to express my gratitude and thank you, everybody, to the entire interim government team. I think we are doing. I think I'm right now. I feel that I'm passing some dream times if I compare to last 15 years. So that's what I want to comment about the interim government. The specific two questions are: number one, there is a we have a July charter coming. Now, my question is: all the political parties will agree or disagree on certain aspects, and the July charter will be formed. But how, as a citizen, I can be assured that the charter will be respected later on, maybe 6 months, 1 year, 2 years down the road. Because I mean, for example, Jamaat and BLP, they might not agree on some issues later on after the election, and they might walk out from the July charter. So, how, as a citizen, I can be assured that July charter will be respected?
Just
And another thing is about the student politics in campus. I mean, the violence we have seen for last 35 or how many years I don't know. As long as I can remember, there are just violence always, and it's a mono only singular party stays in every campus. So I mean, I want to know how Professor Muhammad Yunus can ensure that there will not be any political violence in the campus in the coming days. I just want to be assured about that, and also the political rules that will be set and will be respected by the all the political parties that will come and rule the country later on. And my second question is, we are running with a team of SBBK, Shadin Bangla Bharatiya Kendra, and we are working for the disinformation campaign since August. The problem is that there are many Indian tweet handles who constantly spreads all the disinformation, and I mean, disrespects every way possible the Bangladeshi things, anything about Bangladesh. So whenever I am reporting or my mates are reporting about those incidents, nothing is counted. But as they report us and we lose the IDs. And some of our colleagues, they lost almost like 17, 18 tweet handles. And it is so unfortunate that after gaining like 20,000 or 30,000 followers, they lose the idea and just completely is all the efforts are wasted. So that's what I want to. I'm requesting you to address. And my first question is I'm really curious to know about my first question. Thank you.
And about, first of all, you have like three questions. First, about the July charter. Like obviously, it's up to the like all the consensus building commission is going to talk to the political parties, and there are like in six of the six commission have about 2,000 recommendations, and all the political parties are going to sign and like agree on these recommendations. Maybe they will agree on like 500 recommendations or 200 or whatever their agreement is. They are going to this whole recommendations will be taken together, and then they will constitute this July Charter. And this is up to the political will of these political parties. They can say, okay, we are obviously going to implement some parts of these recommendations, and once the election is held, then some political parties would come and they are going to do the rest. If they don't do it, I can say you that they they will face the consequences. It's a new generation that have taken over Bangladesh. It's a new Gen Z, and they know how to force political parties to accept reforms. They know it very well. I know, if they can drag Hasina from power, who was supposed to be in power up to 2041, and obviously that sends a message to every political party in the country that this is a new generation of activists, and it's not about male. It's hundreds of thousands of girls. It's everywhere, and these guys know how to push through these reforms. July uprising is a phenomenal event. It's an unprecedented event, and it has transformed a whole generation. If some political parties think that, okay, they are going to show some thumbs to this generation, okay, there will be these people know how to hit the streets and force parties to accept their demand. We are not worried about it. Honestly, no worry. And the second thing is campus violence. Again, I think obviously some influential student groups would try to capture campuses all across the country. But you know what happened to Chhatro League? It didn't take them anywhere. If students rise up and protest, confront these student groups, these people have nowhere to hide. So I think again again I would refer to July uprising. It's a transformative event. It took them only one day. July 14 and 15, I would say. They just kicked out Awami League, which is we never thought, from all the campuses. In just one day, they just lost. Awami League, actually Hasina lost power on that day when Chhatro League guys were kicked out from campuses all across the country. There will be intimidation by some armed political student groups, but it's not going to take anywhere. And but the government doesn't want to intervene in every cases. There is this debates going on among the students, what kind of campus they want, and this is continue for many more months until we see some safe spaces. And already some students from Buet or students from Kuwait in Khulna University, they are installing their own rules and regulations in the campuses. And the third question was, sorry, about, I just forget.
No, about the, we are losing the IDs. The Bangladeshi tweet handles, some of them like Ridwan Sabbir, he's very famous, and he lost almost after 20 to 30,000 follower gaining. He worked so hard and lost his ID. And
I think that's unfortunate. Yes, I say if you look at the algorithm, I think there were some researchers have done stories on how the how Google algorithm is set. Any news on from the Indian side or the Indian newspaper are highlighted, or in X, whatever you post, it's downgraded. It's a way like Indians have penetrated every layer of the Western society, and they are like, it's an unfortunate fact, they like push their own agenda, and sometimes like these people share like flagrant lies. Again, this like when I look at Google or social media handle, these get prominent places. It's like it's a wake up call for all Bangladeshis, how social media can be manipulated by other countries, people of other countries who have the power, how they manipulate this space, and we have to find out ways to deal with it. Can the government alone do it? I don't think so. We need like collective efforts from everyone. We need to raise. We need to like hold seminar in Western universities. Our voices are marginalized. How our voices are muzzled. Like it's a online caste system. Like this is a, they are like, some of these people are very good at introducing this system. We like it's a wake up call for everyone, because the way some disinformation are propagated by this information kills, disinformation triggers uh, uh, violence, disinformations lead to the Iraq war. 1 million people died because some guys like sold this idea that Iraq has like weapons of mass destruction, and Iraqi voices were never counted. Those who said, okay, these are bullshit. No one counted those voices. We have to be like, we have to, whatever collective efforts we have to pull it together and face this menace.
Thank you. Kausal, can I ask one more question if possible?
Please, please.
Yeah, Shafiq Bhai, another question is that about the Hindu Bodho Oikya Parishad and all the minority organizations. My specific question is that uh, if we analyze the 15 years after 5th August and after 5th August, I mean, if they have really specific issues about their um, uh, any particular concern, why don't they specifically go to the government or to the media house and say that I have these concerns or that specific concern, this thing, rather than addressing the issues inside the country? Why I have to see that these same peoples, whoever they're going to United States, they're going to India, they're lodging the complaint from UK using the MPs and congressperson and senators. I mean, why the government is not asking Mr. Ranadas Gupta and whoever, XYZ or whoever those organizations are representing, come and sit and just press your issues to us rather than complaining and going abroad and say, defaming Bangladesh. I mean, why the government is not, I mean, if the government can say Hizbut Tahrir is banned, if government can decide on so many things, why they're not addressing this minority organization issue? I mean, this thing is going on for the last, I don't know. Priya Shah went to Mr. Trump and said that 17 or 17 million, 18 million people were ousted from Bangladesh. I mean, what Bangladesh did?
Like, one thing about this thing is that if the government goes after this group, then they will start selling victimhood all over the world. Like, they are the victims. Like, and government is repressing minorities. Government is muzzling minority voices. Like, it's like it's better like we deal these groups with proper statistics, proper journalism, unmasking their we have done several. I think we need more authoritative voices to call out these guys, like saying that okay, these they have systematic problems in reporting their reporting minority repression cases, and how like they are actually adding fuel to the fire, and like we have to like this. I think this initiative should come from independent group. A group like Right to Freedom, led by Ambassador William B. Milam, or any American, Bangladeshi American group. They can commission a study, or we can hire like guys from the human rights. We can tell the lodge complaint with human rights watch, international human rights group, saying that how like distorted campaign, distorted information or disinformation campaign by this minority group is actually putting Bangladesh in harm's way, or uh, like undermining our international stand, international prestige and image. We have to, but if the government gets involved, it creates more problem. It leads to like then these groups would say, okay, we are big victims. They will play this martyrdom like issues, and also then other countries who are sympathetic to these people, they would also take up their cause. It becomes a massive international issue. Let independent authoritative voices like call out these guys. That's the only way, and we have to amplify these voices.
Shafiq bhai, you know something is going in March 25th, right? The congressional hearing, that she's going to be part of that.
I think I have to go.
Okay.
Can we talk about it later?
Yes. Thank you so much, Shafiq bhai. No, okay.
Yes.
I think it's quite late. Thank you. It's nearly 1 o'clock. I didn't realize. So
Thank you
again.
very much.
Right.
We'll
It's
meet
been a
again in a week's time or in 10 days time, hopefully.
Okay, maybe 10 days or whatever suits you, right? Whatever suits you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yes, bye.
ওটাকে দিব এই বলে শুকায় গেল পানি